as far as your repertoire goes, as far as, your past. Just real quick to sum it up, you became legendary for building such a coalition, such a big major impact for not just the community, but for all kinds of cultures, for all kinds of different people. There's different people that follow you. There's different people, all, like I said, different genders, different, wow. I'm ecstatic.
I mean, it was just something that kind of happened organically. You set out to try to do something that you never imagined what it's going to become until the vision starts to develop. But we started this thing in like 1987, and it was just basically just a group of rappers. There's a bunch of rappers hanging out rapping, but over time it started to build into something because of the diverse members that started to join. We look up and you got a gangster, nipple, Klondike Cat, a Point Blank, a Dopey, just that core right there, PSK, it just builds into a whole different level because the dynamic is so great because everybody is so different from each other. So it happened not by accident, but we didn't really see it going like it went.
It just happened. And now that it has happened, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it's great because we talking about 30 plus years now. And from that time, you're talking about just guys just rapping, battle rapping in the corner in school, on the corner in the schoolhouse, all the way up to the internet age where we have taken this thing worldwide. Where we got South Park Coalition affiliates in the UK and Australia
that's exactly something that I had mentioned about, and that's mind blowing because as I mentioned to you guys earlier, there are, from what I know of, up to approximately 70 people throughout the whole world that actually belong to South Park Coalition, along with other. Now it's more.
Yeah.
We got to update that roster. That's all it is. But yeah, that is definitely well over 100, probably to 150. Because again, we got affiliates all over the planet.
Do you travel out of the, like around the world? You guys go out there?
Finland.
Nice. When was the last time you guys went out there to the UK?
I was in the UK in 2014.
That's amazing.
Right. Some years ago. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's cool because one thing that you don't really grasp until you go over there is the global impact that you have, because we look at ourselves, before that we just looked at ourselves as some cats from the hood that's just trying to rap, trying to do music. And again, when the internet age kicked in, we're not focused on that impact until you start getting emails and people reaching out to you from countries you never heard of.
They start locking you in and stuff like that.
And
starts getting serious.
That evolved into them actually reaching out to bring us over there. And just funny, me and Blanca are here because we are really the two in the SPC
that have
think done like that international travel.
Y'all would have gotten to cause that much of an impact across the world? Did y'all ever literally like fucking think, hey, I'm sorry, like literally think, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna kill it, And did you, Blanca, did you literally think and believe that you guys were gonna go out there and make it happen?
Yeah. Did.
Yeah.
I don't think it ain't.
Has it sunk in yet? Because
we trying to go back. We trying to repeat.
Hey, and now let me ask you, because you have had a very long repertoire. What has built your structure? Right here, this gentleman right here, he's my right hand, and he has, that he's wanted to ask you that question. What has kept your structure? Throughout all this time, what built your structure? What made you build?
In my opinion, and I'll let Blank give his opinion on it, I think it's just having the love for what we do. See, the love have to be the foundation. If you don't love it and care about your craft and your art, then it's going to crumble. You're going to eventually fade out. The love is the fuel that drives the vehicle for what we do. So as long as we care about it, we're going to put our passion into it. We're going to give 100%. And then when the people start to rally behind us, once we realize that people was really messing with us like that, that's more fuel to say, now we got an obligation to keep giving these people what they want, and that's the foundation right there.
Motivation.
So, motivation. I was about to say you
And
took that out.
Inspiration.
And that's what it's about, because you continue to give people motivation.
You can make it. You can do it.
Yes. So what made you? What was your motivation?
I mean, I love the music. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, when you run into them fans and they telling you they best rapper, you they pop. Like, that's my number one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or when you run into that person that buy your CD and stuff, you know, that inspired me to go to the next city.
Yes.
You know, we do a lot of traveling.
Yes.
We sell a lot of merch. So when you run into the ones that know you already and they just, they be emotional because they just like, they be excited to see you. That make you feel good.
You know what? I do have to vouch for that.
Yeah.
I'm not an artist. I'm not anybody. But just being a radio personality, you know, or helping people, helping the community, people reach out to you.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
they recognize you.
Yes.
Be in the grocery store, they like, hey, wait.
Yeah. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Believe, hey, in the grocery store, in the corner store, is not the area you want to see us. You know,
But you know, and again, the blank point, what he said, because he also made a good point to say that when you do something, it sets an example for people coming behind you to show them that they can do it too, especially if they come from where you come from. Because we didn't go to college to do this. We didn't go to any kind of trade school to do this. This is all just naturally
it came to you guys.
from who we are, God-given gift.
Inherited, you know.
Yeah.
We and
Here's a million, you know.
right.
Go be
No
rappers.
machine behind us. And you're right. No, like you say, no trust fund that got you started. And to come from that to a point where you
Nobody
recognize
to twist your voice
internationally like that. That's
They
big.
get
And
to
people
the
look
point
at that. Because people hit me and Blanca and say, man, how y'all get them overseas licks? And they think it's just like this as simplistic as that. It's like, no, it took a while. You have to actually do your groundwork to build yourself up to a point where you have an overseas market. Then that puts you in a position for the people in that market to call you and bring you over there.
Right.
You gotta have a fan
So,
base.
you know, a while back when I was beginning, I've been doing radio, I want to say about a year already. So, at the beginning when I was starting, one of my first guests was Sire Jukebox.
Yeah.
He was one of my first guests here.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have to say that he brought you up.
Yeah, we got a rich history together. Yeah, we forever connected.
I love the fact that he shared, you know, a lot of memories with you.
Yeah.
You know, one of them being the school episode, you know, and the battle rap episode.
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing. It had all of us laughing, and I was actually looking for that recording, right? I was gonna have y'all laughing too.
That's my dude. We go back to the beginning because we started in the era where it was so competitive. The battle rap era. Everybody.
That was when it really started, like the real deal.
Yeah. Well, see, the goal back then in rap and Blanca Badwood, it was to prove you was better than the other dude. That's all it was about.
It
And
was a
so
battle.
if I show up, if I'm walking in the mall, and if I just see you and you look like a rapper, I'm automatically mad at you just because you rap.
I'm gonna call you out.
I'm gonna call you out. That's how it was. So I had that mentality back then. Jukebox had that mentality back then. They was with rap a lot. So they was like, man, we would rap a lot. We looked at the people that was on the labels and kind of was above us at the time, like, oh, they ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? We gonna show. So it was just bound to happen, and we clashed on several occasions, man. So
how does it feel going now on those memories, based off of, you know, it's been so many years that have passed by, and you guys still
it's funny to me now. I mean, because I can say then we was dead serious. It was like hatred. Like, man, I do not like it. We really had a serious dislike for each other because he wanted to prove that he was going to destroy me, and I wanted to prove that I was going to destroy him. So I wanted to rap. I wanted to battle the whole ghetto boys. I wanted all of them. But now looking back at it, we see each other now. We laugh before we even dap up. We just start laughing.
He was laughing his butt off here with all of us too. All he spoke about was love.
Yeah, that's
Love,
what it
love,
is, man. It's
you know, and respect. So, you know, props to both of y'all and the whole SPC crew because I go back to you guys.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Harlem Clark. Okay, so
Peter Mello.
No doubt.
my
Big Mellow Zone.
yes, my big brother, you know, he put me on SPC. He put me on the whole, you know, Swisher House. He put me on the whole UGK. He put me on all of the good stuff. You know, so I go back to you guys. So I grew up with a lot of you. You know, so it's important to that's the reason why I say it's important to keep the legends alive because in our reality, that's really who we got to pay homage to. So what is your perception in reference to homage? Because a lot of people don't like to give respect. They don't like to give homage to people like you guys. You know, or not you, just in specific legendary people or people that have been in the game for quite some time.
You gotta get homage. You gotta, you know, you gotta come in humbled or you will be humbled.
Yeah, yes.
You know what I mean? The game don't humble.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
You know, this is a struggle. You know, this wasn't easy.
Right.
Like the battle in the scripture you just described, that's the beginning.
Right.
Of this long journey.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then too, also, it's like the game, time passes on, and if you were just starting out and you say, okay, well, I'm not gonna pay homage to these people who came and chop these trees down for me to walk clear, eventually you're gonna be the one in that position.
Right.
Somebody younger gonna come up to you, and if they don't do it for you, then you're gonna be feeling some kind of way. So it all comes back around. You have, and plus none of us are who we are 100% because of ourselves.
Right.
Everybody was influenced by somebody. You lying if you say you wasn't. You lying if you say you wasn't listening to this rapper growing up and basing your style off of his and being inspired by that person. So you cheating the law of the universe to not give credit where credit is due. You cheating that law, and when you cheat that law come back and bite you. Yeah,
yes.
No doubt.
Honestly, that I truly believe that, and we speak about that here on the show a lot because I like to bring people that have been in the game to be able to inspire the upcoming artists. I deal with a lot of upcoming artists. I have managed a few.
They the future.
You know.
They the future.
Yes, you know, but how are they going to know and how are they going to do right if we don't guide them?
Right.
You know, such as myself being in the industry, now I'm not even a big thing, but if I can guide you based off of what I know that the public likes and based off of what it really is,
telling you what's right,
then I'm gonna do it. Now it's up to you if you want to take it.
Yeah.
You know, but the guidance is there.
Keep what you can use, though, rest away.
Right.
Work for one person might not work for the next.
Exactly.
Same path, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, we all got the same goals to make it at the top, but our paths gonna be, they gonna vary.
Some are gonna struggle a little bit more than others, and some others gonna have it easy.
Yeah.
You know,
overnight might take 10 years of stress.
Right.
And overnight might literally be overnight for some of them. Like, ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, it happens with those one-hit quitters, you know?
And it's crazy because that's a great point, because I asked myself, I started off at a time where I was trying to make demo tapes and send them to major record labels to try to get signed so I could be LL Cool J, Run DMC on that kind of level. But I look back at it now, and the failure of that, when I didn't get those deals or whatever, had I got those deals back then, I might not be around right now.
Right.
Because it might have sent me in a different direction, it might have shaped me in a way that the struggle didn't shape me for how I am now.
Right.
So you just never know. Everything that happened the way it was supposed to happen, and you could have had a hit in 1989.
But that would have been your only hit.
It might have been my only hit, and I've been long gone forgotten doing something else. You know, so I'm grateful for my path. I wouldn't trade it.
Hey, I'm grateful for your path too because it's brought a lot of knowledge. You know, I'm so much into knowledge. You spoke about the universe, you know, so you're on that knowledge too. You're a Muslim, and you also do motivational speakers for a lot of communities. So how does that feel?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's like you just came into your purpose. You know, you figured out what the path of your life was going to be. And I was blessed to come into those teachings, the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad at like 22 years old. And I haven't looked back because that has shaped a lot of what I do, not just in life, but in music too. Because a lot of the principles, those principles that are in those teachings apply to every aspect of life.
Right.
So if even when you come into your business, what you want to do, your career, there's still elements in those teachings that you pull out and use in order to build yourself up. So it's been everything for me.
Right. So also, you also have a radio platform too.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
is that coming on?
I mean, it's been about a year and a half. I'm still a baby in the game.
You
know?
and me both.
But it's crazy because when I first got a call to do it, I said no. I was like, I ain't doing no radio. And then as soon as I hung the phone up,
It sounds like he's repeating my story.
yeah, I hung the phone up, and 5 seconds later I called him right back because I thought about the same thing. The word you just used was platform.
Right.
Because if, again, like you said, if I want to be able to talk about and express the things that I believe in, my ideologies, why not take a chance on the platform, especially at the station I'm at, because they give you that kind of freedom.
Right.
And it gave me a chance to kind of combat, just throw a few rocks at the establishment that's so dominant, and it's not a voice like ours out there that can really fight against that. So I was good.
Well, you were blessed because
Yeah, no
you
question.
do have a lot of people that follow you, that a lot of people that are willing to listen to your message, you know, and that plays a big part because there's people that can sit here and guide and talk all they can and all they want, but will the people hear you? Will you have enough credibility for the people to shut up and listen? You know, and that credibility, you have it.
Well, you know, a wise man told. See, a lot of experience is the best teacher, and when you have kind of walked down certain roads and people know it, then they respect you. In this music game, they'll look at me and Blanca and be like, okay, these two guys, they've been there and done that. So if they say something, even if people disagree with what we say, they'll respect it. But on the same token, when we do sit down to tell people something, we can tell them and get that attention from, because it's a saying that goes, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
So if we've been showing our stripes for the longest, you know, so people can look, and we've been giving up free game to a lot of artists for years, so they know we care.
Right.
You know, we care about ourselves, but we don't just care about ourselves. We look at a lot of these young cats and try to help them from making a lot of the mistakes that we made. And we just get a game up in regular conversation.
And have y'all ever, I have to ask this, have y'all ever came across that one person that just is so rebellious, that does not want to take that advice, or that just says, you know, that bugs them or rubs them the wrong way, whatever it is that you're trying to tell them? Have you ever had that negative response? And how did you go about it?
All you can do is just give them the information. Just like you doing on your network, Reno doing on his network, all you can do is give the information. You being angry and stuff, that's your energy.
Right.
That's I'm not in your universe.
Right.
You in your universe.
You're in your universe, I'm in mine.
I gave you the information, you take it and use it as you please.
Apply it how you can.
As it fits your life.
Right.
If you want it at all.
Right.
The job of a messenger is, the only job of a messenger is to deliver a clear message. That's it. I can't beat you over the head with information. If I just tell you, say, man, you need to be careful, man. Such can happen. You do that. I ain't gonna come back to you every day telling you that.
Right.
You take it or you leave it alone.
I can't give you the message and then come over there and be you.
Right.
Right.
And
He'll come and do it for you.
And do the shit with you.
Right.
I gave you the message.
Right.
Okay. You know what I mean? Like,
true. Yeah. Well, with that, big shout out to everybody that is tuned in. Big shout out to Filero tuning in too. Go ahead and fix their mics, please. Can you check their mics for me?
What's up with it?
He's tuned in. He said he can't hear one of your mics. Oh,
Filero, what's up, man?
there you go. Filero, let me know if you could hear him now. Let us know what it is. Big shout out to Rodolfo Reyes tuning in straight for Mr. K-Rino. You may know him, people.
I have something to say in regards to one of my very first
actually the very first time I got in on the money train with Point Blank to go grind. I was at the end of my wits, nowhere to go, you know, and everything that he was about to tell me, of course, I didn't know I was going to use it for the rest of my life. And he just like, soak up everything you can and throw away what you can't use. And I'm like, what you don't use. And I'm like, okay, well, now, look at me now. I went all the way to Colorado and still doing what they have taught me. Between Point Blank, K-Rino, between everybody. And I can tell you, above everything else, Reno, if you agree with me, the Almighty Creator deserves it all.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
We'd be remiss if we didn't say that.
Yep.
Everything comes from the Most High.
Yeah.
At all times. At all times.
But I use it, and it's been working.
And how do you feel about that now that it's been years?
Oh man, it's been amazing. It's not a feeling, it's a living way of
There you
living.
go. There you go. Well, props to you.
Shout out to God, got it great.
And props to you because you listened and you made the choice.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to give yourself credit too because you gotta love
She
yourself.
put
order
in the
to-
work. She
Yes.
did.
You love
She
yourself
still
enough
wouldn't
to
be
do it.
there if she
Yes.
wouldn't have did it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It ain't just listening.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Doing it.
action.
Doing
You
it.
know what I mean?
So, props to you, and thank you guys for guiding people. You know, for letting them know what it is because it takes a lot.
Well, somebody did it for us. I mean, I can say just throughout my life, I ran into all types of different people, not just rap people, not just music people, but people in general that have always dropped little seeds on you as you go along. And, you know, that's nothing but God really speaking through people, and it's up to us to take it or leave it. But, you know, we've been blessed to do that, and then you grow up and years later you find yourself repeating the same things that other people dropped on you because now the positions are switched. Now you that guy talking to another guy who's you back then.
You the OG.
Right.
Right.
You was the youngster. Now you the OG.
Right.
Now it's your turn.
It's a cycle.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like
So let me ask y'all, what is y'all's next move?
the best move.
Hey, the next move is better than the next. I like that. Yeah, all
It's
day.
always there.
Yeah.
You never know in this business.
That's
Blessings just come. You just work and you do what you do. Long as you doing the right thing for the right thing, then your blessings come.
And especially,
You know, man.
especially the way,
Yes, that's very
especially
true.
the way we work, because we don't even really have a set schedule. We don't even have a set program. It's like our stuff just literally just comes how it comes. So at the end of the day, when he say the best move, the next move is the best move, that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, couldn't be further. It's the absolute truth because we don't know. You know, there's nobody behind us calling. There's no publicist calling us say, okay, Blank today, you got to be here, and there. Okay, we got to be here. It don't work like that with us.
Right.
So we hit our licks and we create our licks most of the time.
Yeah.
So y'all still keep it old school, you know? Y'all still keep it like the game, like y'all start.
Being
That's-
good
that's
people,
respect.
everybody just wants,
Every
you know.
city, every town,
Every city,
every state.
everywhere.
We do
Yeah.
shows together. We go to each other's shows.
Yeah.
We SPC, so
Yeah.
when we in the building, that's our
It's all
love.
over
with.
That's
It's
our
all over
family.
with.
They know us all.
That's right.
They happy to see us. And I don't care if it's 50 or 500, because we done perform or 5,000.
And I was so excited that y'all were coming and y'all
Yeah.
weren't even here yet.
Yeah.
Y'all was over here. Ah!
Oh, man,
And everybody has their part.
Yeah, that's what a family is. You know, we root for each other. You know, if I'm not the one performing that night, then I'm cheering for whoever is in the
Right.
place. Same like Blank the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's cheering for everybody who's getting down that night. And the next week, he up there.
He up,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And we down there giving it to him. So I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like we look at each other like one of us gonna pop this thing open and then open the door and then bring everybody else in.
Already. So
We don't care which one of it is.
That's how.
because that's love.
As long
It
as
doesn't matter that
SPC,
envy,
the
that
brand,
jealousy,
right.
all that's
As
out
long
the
as
window.
the
It doesn't
brand
exist.
working,
Yeah.
everybody working.
Right.
So work.
What tip
You know what I
can you
mean?
guys give to the upcoming people that are trying to build a group that are trying to build a team like you guys, you know, what tip would you give the upcoming people that are trying to build that team?
It
That
ain't
solid
gonna
team.
happen overnight. This real. Because you just don't be assemble no team like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of
These
course,
people,
you
just like any company, they running through workers like it ain't they and then they pick. Oh, I
Until
want
they
him.
pick
That's
the
a
side,
jewel.
yeah.
You gon' find many and hire many more till you
Yeah.
find that other manager.
Right.
I'm sure she's loyal. She loyal.
Yeah.
Man, that's how we get them.
Yeah.
Already.
And that's
It's
the
this
thing.
decades of these just branches growing.
Already.
Yeah.
You know, they come
Yeah.
from
You
all walks of
motivate me to
life.
go out there and
Yeah.
fucking
They got
add another
SPC
10 people.
tatted on their face, their bodies.
Yeah.
You know, it's SPC for life, and they represent.
It's about chemistry. You know, it's like a basketball team. You can stick a bunch of good players on the same team, but it don't guarantee they're gonna win
They're gonna
because
play right.
they don't have the chemistry. But then you can have maybe one good guy and four regular guys, but they work as a team in a way that they can beat the super team.
Right.
So we had a chemistry that started way back in the late '80s that just stood out so great, and that's what made us and put us in the position we were. It's like all the way from Dope in Egypt making the beats, all the way from the chemistry that we would all have when we get on songs together, the dynamic of the energy changing from point blank to cat, from cat to nip, from nip to AC. It just the dynamic was so great. It was a chemistry there. You can't artificially create that. That had to be just a God-given natural thing, and we didn't even know that was the case then. We was just doing it, having fun.
But we know now.
We know now.
Yeah, no,
30 plus years done passed.
History
Yeah.
have showed us what it was, what we was walking in.
Y'all didn't break. Y'all kept going. Y'all kept going.
Yeah.
Man, it takes a lot.
And one more thing, you have to work hard and pray harder because you will need it.
That's all
You
day.
will need
That's
it.
all day, every day.
Or in reverse order.
Yeah.
You pray,
Pray.
then you put
Then
your
you
work
go
in.
get it.
Yeah, there we go.
You already know it's gonna be
prayer
blessed.
work better with action.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know what?
You
This-
said something very true.
This past weekend,
Yeah.
Yoli and Carl was telling me it's like the whole weekend it was like this certain person, a certain fan I run into, I was right on time for them
Yeah.
in their life.
Yeah.
And I'm a witness
Like
to
real
that.
talk.
Yeah.
Like
I believe
serious.
that. I
We
believe
was
that.
right by. We right here,
Trying
and
to
the
show-
car just flipped over. Bam, bam,
And
bam.
you're
Yo, I'm saying Yoli out there doing
I got my
you know what I
I got my
mean?
first aid certificate.
It's like things happen that just let us know, man. Hey, y'all.
And that
do
guy
right.
didn't speak
Yeah,
no English
yeah.
either. That guy didn't speak no English. I was the only one
It was
on
milk.
the site.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just.
We all hyped up. It's all good.
Yeah.
Nah,
But
Well,
yeah, it
just
was
real
happening.
quick, I don't mean to
Yeah, no, you're
cut you off. Mr. Keith Rogers, Sire Jukebox.
There he is.
Yes, the wizard.
The
He
man
said,
himself. The
We were
OG.
just speaking about you. We were just speaking about you. Big shout out to you.
No doubt.
Shout out.
And back to you guys. Yes, definitely. It takes a lot to actually make those moves, but you cannot make those moves, any kind of moves, without prayer. Now, were you always, I'm going to start over there first in that little corner, were you always involved spiritually? What made